In this examination of Once Upon a Time in America, we're going to look at shot duration and how it shapes not only the individual shot itself, but also the shots around the long take. So here we have the mobile long take. This shot will play out for a long period of time. And in this scene, this character, Mo, is about to be reunited with his old friend, Noodles, played by Robert De Niro, who he hasn't seen in many years. So the primary emotional effect of this scene is nostalgic. They're trying to create a sense of nostalgia, these old friends who haven't seen each other in so long. And we'll see how this is accomplished. Now, it's important to note as this plays out that we're seeing everything through glass and we can't hear any of the dialogue. This is almost playing out like a silent film. Morricone's score is timed perfectly to the image. But the information in the dialogue is communicated through gesture here. So the friend freezes as he hears De Niro's character's voice on the phone here for the first time. And what we'll notice about this shot here, this beautiful mobile long take, is not only how beautifully orchestrated it is and how smooth it is for this individual shot, but also how it sets up the shot that follows. By delaying the cut, we're going to make the cut all the more powerful when it arrives in this scene. And we'll compare this the shot that follows to a somewhat similar shot in Leone's Once Upon a Time in the West. And we're going to show how those two shots differ and how they both create an emotional intensity. So as the camera pulls up here, we'll notice that momentarily we don't know who the subject of the rest of the shot will be. We wonder if we're going to follow this customer out into the street with the rest of the shot. But a phone booth is brought slowly into view and De Niro is brought into the foreground. And then we get our first cut. This is the first cut right here. And it hits with this emotional intensity created by the delay of the cut in the previous shot. Now, that shot on its own is pretty standard and pretty subtle. Let's compare it to another kind of slow zoom in on a character's face in Once Upon a Time in the West. And Morricone's score is very different here, so it's a pretty jarring difference. But look at how the camera starts to push into the face, but then goes all the way to a close-up of Bronson's eyes in this shot. So this creates a very intense emotional effect, but it's pretty stylistically flamboyant, and Leone often worked this way. And Once Upon a Time in America, he does something very different, very subtle, this very standard shot that gains its intensity due to its relationship to the shot that came before it. So what's interesting about shot duration is not only does it shape the shot itself, it shapes the way that we interpret the shots that surround that individual shot.